The forests are silent. The oceans are turning empty. The air itself has become an enemy. If you had stood on Earth 252 million years ago, you would have witnessed the greatest disaster in our planet's history. Not the asteroid that ended the dinosaurs. Something even worse. Scientists call it the Permian-Triassic mass extinction. Many simply call it the Great Dying. Around 90% of marine species disappeared. Nearly 70% of land vertebrate species vanished. Entire ecosystems collapsed. Food chains snapped apart. For millions of years, Earth looked like a planet struggling.
At first, the changes were almost invisible. A few species disappeared. Others migrated toward cooler regions. Most life simply tried to adapt. But evolution moves slowly. The climate was changing much faster. According to paleoclimatologist Lee Kump, the atmosphere eventually contained several times more carbon dioxide than it does today. The planet entered an extreme greenhouse state. Average global temperatures climbed dramatically. In some tropical regions, surface temperatures may have exceeded 40 degrees Celsius. For many organisms, survival became impossible. The oceans suffered even greater crises. Warm water contained far less oxygen than cold water. As temperatures continued rising, oxygen levels dropped across vast areas of the sea. Scientists call these regions dead zones.
Some scientists believe hydrogen sulfide escaped into the atmosphere. If that happened, the consequences would have been catastrophic. The gas is highly toxic. It can kill animals within minutes at high concentrations. Research led by geochemist Lee Kump suggests that toxic oceans may have released enormous amounts of hydrogen sulfide during the Great Dying. The atmosphere itself may have become deadly. Some researchers also believe the gas weakened Earth's protective ozone layer. Without strong ozone protection, far more ultraviolet radiation reached the surface. Plants suffered even greater damage. Spores preserved in ancient rocks show signs of intense ultraviolet exposure. The sun had not changed. Earth's natural shield had. By this point, survival depended on luck as much as adaptation. Entire branches of the evolutionary tree disappeared forever. The famous trilomites, which had survived for nearly 270 million years.
The planet was still wounded. The air remained warmer than before. The oceans were still low in oxygen. Many regions were almost unrecognizable. Yet, life has one remarkable habit. It keeps trying again. Tiny organisms became the first builders of a new world. Microbes spread across empty seafloors. Hardy plants slowly returned to the land. Small insects followed. Then reptiles. Then the ancestors of the animals that dominate Earth today. Every survival inherited a planet filled with opportunity. There were empty forests to reclaim, empty rivers to explore, empty oceans waiting to be filled again. Evolution accelerated. Species adapted to environments that had never existed before.
They probably wouldn't have recognized the disaster at first. One hot summer would not seem unusual. A few missing species might not cause alarm. A shrinking forest could be dismissed as bad luck. But decade after decade, the changes would continue. Children would grow up believing the damaged world was normal. Their children would accept an even smaller world. Eventually, almost no one would remember what had been lost. That is one of the most powerful lessons hidden inside Earth's greatest extinction. Disasters are not always loud. Sometimes they arrive 1 degree at a time, one missing species at a time, one empty river at a time. The fossil record tells this story with extraordinary detail. Every layer of ancient rock is like a page from Earth's diary. Inside those layers, scientists discovered the fingerprints of volcanic eruptions. Chemical choices revealed dramatic changes in the atmosphere. Tiny fossil spores are called advancing ultraviolet radiation. Marine sediments was
Why should a disaster that happened 252 million years ago matter to you? Because the rocks beneath your feet are more than stone. They are records. Every cliff, every canyon, and every mountain preserves pieces of Earth's memory. Scientists didn't witness the Great Dying. They reconstructed it from tiny clues left behind across hundreds of millions of years. A single fossil shell can reveal the temperature of an ancient ocean. A microscopic crystal can record the chemistry of an atmosphere that vanished long before humans existed. Even the smallest grain of volcanic ash can be matched to eruptions that reshaped the planet. Each discovery adds another sentence to Earth's longest story. That story carries an unexpected message. Life is incredibly vulnerable. A changing climate, a shift in ocean chemistry, a collapse of food webs, together they can transform an entire planet. Yet the same story also reveals something extraordinary. Life is astonishingly resilient. After nearly 90% of marine species disappeared, after ecosystems collapsed, after forests burned and oceans suffocated, life began again. Not overnight, not within centuries, but over millions of